remember Lorin for was basically taking nothing without giving it some deep thought. And he told me once when we were talking about photography that he didn't consider himself a photographer. He wasn't a guy who went out with a camera and took pictures of things. He considers himself an alchemist of light and shadow. And for Lorin, alchemy has always been about change, about transforming one thing to another. That's the whole lead in the gold thing, was sort of like the crass representation of that. Lorin felt that he was transforming light and shadow into some representation of the world, and that's why he would do all these tricks, the dodging, the burning, whatever the technical terms are, because for Lorin, there was always more to reality than just what you saw. And he tried to often bring that out in his pictures, to show things that weren't there, or to show things that were there that we simply weren't perceiving. So even his approach to photography was a very deep philosophical thing. Something Rob said about Lorin lending him money reminded me of, Lorin moved out of 62 once to a place that we all call the farm. I don't know if it was actually a working farm or not. But he moved out, and when he moved out, he asked me to take over the finances. So I took over the finances, and that's when I found out that Lorin had basically been subsidizing everybody living here, because the rent had gone up, and he thought that none of us could afford to pay the extra rent, so he was basically paying an extra $25 or $30 per person out of his own pocket just so we could all stay living here. So when I took over, rent went up. I wasn't quite as generous as Lorin in that regard. Yeah. And that's all I have to say about that.